Hey guys, welcome to my first YouTube video ever. Hey guys, welcome to my 96th video on YouTube! I changed so much from my first video. You could tell how unconfident I was. I wasn't speaking loud, I was nervous. And now here I am in my apartment screaming to the camera because I'm confident, baby. Obviously by the title, you can see that I'm doing a Q&A, which is funny because usually I think Q&As are for famous people. I'm famous in my own little world, and that's all that matters. So I am gonna do a Q&A because I am famous, but here I am with my mom and probably like my 4 friends commenting. You know, what started with my mom and like my 4 friends has now turned into 375 subscribers. Honestly, that looks and feels really small, but that's really big to me. That's all I care about. What was your biggest motivation for starting a YouTube channel? I don't have an answer. I know what type of vibes and energy I kind of want to give off. My biggest motivation then to start a YouTube channel was so I didn't have to go to college. I still didn't go to college, but my biggest motivation now is just to be authentic and, you know, post my life. If I give out a laugh or two as well, that's always a positive. Can I just say this was in my dad's apartment when I was in high school, and now I'm in my own apartment in LA. In that video, if you told me that I would be moving to LA and have my own apartment, just living this weird life, I wouldn't believe you. What's one thing you want to change about yourself and one thing you never want to change? One thing I never want to change about myself would definitely have to be my like overwhelming positivity. Boring! One thing I'll never change about me is how freaking cool I am. I feel like I'm on crack this video. And something that I would change, maybe my imagination. I love having a big imagination, but sometimes it makes me naive. I don't know where that answer came from. I think I was just looking for something to pull out of my butthole because 3 years later, I love to be freaking naive. I love to be delusional. Who cares? We live in a harsh, rough world. We can have a little big imagination. I love pretending my life is something that it isn't. In a world where life is a little bit more difficult, I don't know why I just said that. Is there anything you would have changed about your high school experience? Honestly, for the most part, I probably wouldn't. And I had a good time at the high school that I went to. What I would change about my experience in high school now is, you know, work on my confidence. Despite what it seemed like, despite how many friends I had, despite how many parties I went to and I was invited to, I didn't feel confident in myself. I only felt confident in who I was friends with. I do wish I could change would definitely be some of the people I surrounded myself with, which it kind of ties into what I was saying is that I would surround myself around these like mean, cool kids, some of them, not all of them obviously, because I'm like, okay, well if I don't feel cool, at least if I'm surrounded by people that are cool, I'll feel better about myself. Ew. 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 And it's so crazy, if you're in high school and you're watching this, just know most of the people you see in high school are going to lead unexciting lives. Don't let that cloud your vision and judgment. These people are the top of the world because I guarantee you they're probably closer to the bottom of my freaking foot than they are to the top of the world. So take them off their throne, please. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Okay, you put on your robe, walk to your balcony where you have a beautiful, beautiful view of mountains in LA, California. It's a beautiful house. That's so crazy because that is a dream, yeah, having like a little beach house, but that's no longer my dream. My dream now is to be financially stable to buy just about whatever I want. Like, I don't think I'll ever be a spender where it's like, oh, I want this Lamborghini, I want this new Maserati. I just want a nice car that I like, a nice apartment or a nice little small modest house, and have money to do whatever I want. Travel the country, go fly out my friends, come visit me every now and again. I don't want dirty, filthy rich. I don't know, billionaire status and ultra millionaire status is kind of intimidating. What are you even doing with all that money? I agree with what I said, but you know, my values have changed. That is where I see myself in 10 years. Now, how I'm gonna get there, I don't know. I still don't know how I'm gonna get there, and I have 7 years left before I can reach that point. So I gotta figure out something quick. Spill some high school tea without naming names. Well, I won't spill any high school tea. Oh, I'll spill some high school tea now. I live in a completely different state, 1,500 miles away. I won't name names just to be, you know, respectful. There was this girl that everyone either loved or hated, and, you know, she got with a lot of people. And her friend group, they were like, don't get with this one person and we'll be cool. Like, do whatever you want, live your life, do what you want, but don't hook up with this person. What does she do? She hooks up with that person. So we had a lunch table full of kids, and then they had a lunch table full of kids. One day they texted us in a group chat, tomorrow can we sit at your table? And we're all confused. We're like, oh, like what? What's going on? They kind of spilled the tea, and we're like, oh, okay, like I see. So I don't really remember the details, but pretty much we planned that they were just gonna sit at our table, that's it. But they did something far, far worse. And this is so cruel. Even though people didn't like her for X amount of reasons, looking back at it, this was one of the most rudest, cruel things that could have been done. And I wasn't even really in support of it. I just happened to be associated with it, which is not excusable. But, you know, I'm in high school, so it is what it is. They sit at their table, their original table. They wait for her to sit down, butt to chair. And they all simultaneously grab all their things, pick up their lunch trays, and leave and come sit at our table. Left the poor girl all alone. There was one other girl that stayed and sat with her out of like, it felt more like pity. From that day forward, she ended up going to the library every lunch period, and it was so, so sad. It's some high school tea that is very piping, very mean, very cruel, but it happened.
Favorite outfit you've worn? Okay, well, I'll try and put a picture right here, right here, right here. I don't really know how that's gonna look, because I don't know.
Ooh, favorite outfit I've worn. This is a good one. My style and my taste change very frequently with fashion, but I would have to say, outfit that I wore to Catalina Island, it just felt like I was such an island boy, and there's so many different outfits on my Instagram, and so many outfits that I love, but right now my favorite is my little cowboy island boy vibe. And I can't believe that that was my favorite outfit at the time. My sense of style has changed so much, thank God.
Oh my god, why is this string so long?
Ew, my editing is kind of cringe. I think that was the editing style 3 years ago. But looking back at it, I really hate that editing style. I'm glad that that's kind of out of the trend. This is so much more easier to edit, first of all. Second of all the extra noises and blacks and whites and, you know, making your forehead big excessively is annoying. You know, every now and again you can make a clip really, really funny by adding the right edit. 3 years ago, we were just editing just to edit. Like, oh my gosh, I need to add a funny edit every 30 seconds or my video isn't funny. No. Please don't do that.
How do you think you've changed from middle school to high school to now? I think that's what the question said. And this might surprise a lot of you that in middle school I was actually super socially awkward.
I'll change the question to how much have I changed from high school to college to now? Because technically I'm at the age where I would have graduated college. I stopped going to college after my associate's degree. So as I said in the video, middle school I used to be super socially awkward, and then high school I kind of broke out of my shell. But in high school, I was kind of in search and in need of the validation of what I perceived to be cool at the time. It was more so that, you know, that's the clique. You know, you gotta get in where you fit in. College, college was really rough. So college for me had a lot of loneliness because I ended up going to community college, and community college, obviously, you're at home and you're watching all these people live their lives. I was really lonely and, dare I even say, like, depressed. I dropped a few videos where it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, blah, 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 blah. I was going through like an episode and it was really sad, but then that's where I kind of decided I'm just gonna move to LA. I think I am, at the moment, the highest I've been in my life in terms of my growth, my development, who I am as a person. Am I actually proud of who I am? So much room to grow, so much room. The world is so big. I'm glad I was lonely, because if I wasn't lonely and sad and, you know, demotivated, I wouldn't have moved to LA, because if it didn't happen the way that it did, I wouldn't have ended up where I am now. Call me a freaking poet. Call me a freaking poet. I'm spitting these lines. I'm spitting these lines.
How are you friends with so many people? I think everyone deserves a fair chance and a fair amount of respect when you first meet them.
I'm a social butterfly. I'm really open. I'm really honest. It's not even to suck my own pee-pee right now, but I think I have some charming traits that attract people and keep them around, more importantly, because you can attract all the people you want, but can you keep friends? Also, I've been reading this book recently. This has nothing to do with anything, but it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Honestly, it's kind of interesting.
Do you regret anything? No, I try not to regret anything. Everything happens for a reason.
You can say you don't regret anything all you want, but we all have something we regret. We all have something that floats across our mind, like, oh, I wish I did this differently, I wish I did that differently. And, you know, I have my fair share of regrets too. Do I let it take over my life and I ponder on it all the time? No. It's okay to ponder, it's okay to reflect. If I did this differently, blah, 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 because, you know, you can apply those reflections to your future and your present, and I think regret is good.
So, we finally reached the end of the first video.
Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for all the support some of my friends and family have been giving me. I probably wouldn't have started a YouTube channel without it. That point still stands. Thank you to everyone and all my friends that still continue to give support to me and tell me how much they love my video. Never give up on yourself. You can do so much if you just keep and stick with it. Your life will unfold right before your eyes. I want you guys to feel like you're with me on this journey. Thank you for joining me on the beginning of my very big journey. See you guys.